6 months into 2026, 4 film industries have already pushed dozens of releases past the 100 crore mark. A handful didn't just cross it. They blew past 200, then 300 crore worldwide. That's not regional cinema money anymore. That's Bollywood money. That's Hollywood money. Telugu cinema is throwing bigger budgets at bigger stars than ever before. Tamil cinema is quietly stacking up some of the fastest earning hits of the year. Kannada cinema just had what trackers are calling its biggest year on record. And Malayalam cinema is doing what it always does, winning the reviews while everyone else fights for the box office headlines. So which industry actually won the first half of 2026? And what happens when Diwali brings what might be the single biggest South Indian release in years? Let's break down the numbers. Telugu cinema walked into 2026 with momentum. The last few years had already turned Tollywood into India's most reliable pan-national export. Big mythology, big action, big stars dubbed into every language a distributor could find. 2026 didn't slow that down. If anything, it raised the stakes. Start with the film currently sitting at the top of Tollywood's 2026 charts. According to box office trackers, it had collected over 218 crore in India, and crossed 300 crore worldwide, by the time it hit day 166 in theaters. Long enough to earn the industry term, super hit. That's not a one-week opening spike. That's a film that kept selling tickets for months. Now compare that to one of Tollywood's newer 2026 entrants. In just 23 days, it had already pulled in over 238 crore net in India, and crossed 330 crore worldwide. Same industry. Less than a quarter of the time. A faster climb. That's the kind of opening weekend power Tollywood has been building toward for years. But here's where it gets interesting. Another big 2026 Telugu release crossed 200 crore worldwide too. Most industries would call that a win. Tollywood's trackers called it a flop. Why? Because budgets have scaled up just as fast as box office numbers. When a film costs that much to make and market, 200 crore worldwide isn't success. It's barely breaking even. That's the real story of Tollywood in 2026. It's not just that the hits are getting bigger. It's that the floor for what counts as a hit has risen so high, that even a 200 crore worldwide run can read as a disappointment. Tollywood isn't competing with itself anymore. It's competing with Bollywood's biggest releases. And in 2026, it's matching them. So if Telugu cinema is playing a high-stakes, high-budget game, what's Tamil cinema doing instead? Tamil cinema has spent the last decade building a reputation for something different from Tollywood's spectacle-first model. Stronger writing, tighter content, stars who pick projects as much for craft as for scale. 2026 has been a year where that reputation actually translated into box office speed. The standout example, a 2026 Hollywood release that crossed nearly 200 crore net in India, and over 300 crore worldwide, in just 43 days. That's a faster per day earning rate than most of Tollywood's 2026 slate. Proof that Tamil cinema doesn't need a 300 crore budget to move at blockbuster speed. It wasn't alone. Industry trackers point to a small cluster of 2026 Tamil releases, all fighting for the top spot at the same time. Multiple films crossing into serious crore territory within weeks of each other, which is unusual. Most years, one Tamil film dominates a quarter. In 2026, several were running neck and neck. And increasingly, that competition isn't staying inside Tamil Nadu. Hindi dubbed Tamil releases have become a standard part of opening week strategy in 2026, not an afterthought added weeks later. Kollywood isn't just making content-driven cinema anymore. It's making content-driven cinema built to travel. If Tollywood's 2026 story is about scale, Kollywood's is about speed and spread. Two very different strategies. And so far, both are working. Next, the industry most people underestimate, but the one with the strongest reviews of the year. 6 industries. Hundreds of crores. One shared box office obsession. By the end of 2026, one of these four will be able to say it had the biggest year South Indian cinema has ever seen. And right now, that race is closer than anyone expected. If you want the full breakdown updated as the year plays out, you know what to do.